Well, that almost fits in my screen. I might have to work on that, but I thought I would start today's recap video of Churchill Downs for Wednesday, November 14th, 2012, with a sketch by Janice Kua. That's her right there. So might want to go check that out. She does some amazing things with a pencil. I just can't believe it. Very, very, very beautiful stuff. And so I'm trying to work it in as an opener because it puts me in such a good mood. And I'll get on to our case here. And let's see. Wednesday, I already said that, November 14th, 2012, Churchill Downs. And I'm going to be probably a little short with Churchill Downs because the big deal of Wednesday was at Aqueduct. And so I'd like to show that to you also. But at Churchill Downs, we had, on the overall, one simple pick winning for $7.20, 3 key horses winning for $23.80. And I do believe that our pick wagers at Churchill Downs were not bad payers, and pretty much, for the most part, top 3. The 8th race would have had to go to 4 contenders using the Rolling Sin strategy on that, but in looking at the chart, I kind of think that a lot of people that understand Ability X ratings and have got a pretty good firm grip on how to analyze that chart with the good numbers in mind and what we know about surfaces, distances, and ability, I would think that number 1 here would attract some attention because it is an entry, and actually it is 1A that won this race. And if you take the top 3 morning line odds, the favorite, second choice, third choice, and put them into the Rolling Sin contenders, which is the normal, usual strategy, you come up with number 5, number 3, which is the key horse, and number 2, which also is a close to par rating. And as I've been suggesting lately, I think it's a great idea for a single player to do the Rolling Sin strategy and get your 5 contenders, and then see if you can work it down from there as far as the number of horses in that wager. And I think it's a great exercise to being able to single a pick 4, a pick 5 from time to time. Doubtful that you'll be able to win every day, or maybe even once a week, but I think it's a great exercise. And this race kind of highlights that. It wouldn't be possible to single number 1, I don't believe, but you might single number 1 just because it's an entry. And if you were trying to do a single ticket, you might do that for taking a shot. But you definitely would have an opportunity to single number 1 in the final pick 3 of the day, which paid $148.40 on the $2 level, because once you put in the three contenders by the morning line, favorite, second choice, and third choice, the number one just kind of just falls right in there. One part of the entry is very close to par, very low early speed last, and the other part of the entry is right on par early speed last and a little bit higher in rating, but within range. And the real kicker here is not only that you're getting two horses for one in the bet, but the real kicker on singling this would be that number one is bet down from 12 to 1 morning line to 3.5 to 1. 3.5 to 1. So that is well beyond a 50% bet down. And of course, that is not the only bet down that we have on this card. We have a bet down in the 6th, and we've got not a 50% bet down, but a decent bet down here in the 5th race, and on this winner. And we also have a tremendous price on number one that placed at 12 to 1 odds, which obviously was really ignored by the public, and that is the other one we like to look for on the board is the one that's ignored. That one pays $41.60 to place, and arguably number one may be the closest to par in the race. Of course, there could be some argument with that between number one and number 9. And number 9, let's see, 5th race, where might number 9 have finished? Yep, number 9 misses. The board comes in 5th, 6th, 7th. So that leaves number 1, but number 9 in the 5th and number 1 in the 5th are also a pair. So, as usual, one does well, the other one kind of falls out. So you've got just those tremendous odds on number 1 and fantastic odds on number 9 too. So if you recognize that as a pair and wanted to bet both horses across, or maybe even both horses to place or show, a huge payoff there, and for the play spot on a horse that was ignored by the public. And also the other big bet down that I really noticed, I mean, this one really stands out also, just like the number 1 entry. Now, it's possible the public might have just jumped on that because it is an entry, figuring, oh, we're getting 2 for 1, let's jump on it. But I really don't think so. But it's possible. This number 1 in the 4th race, from 8 to 1 morning line, down to 5 to 2. And look at that balance. I usually am pointing this out in 2-turn turf races, but I try to point it out also on dirt 2-turn races when it's there, and it's frequently there, not as frequent as the turf races, but on the dirt you also notice it. But the other thing is we've got 4 horses here at 90 and 89 early speed last, and number 1 is at 95 early speed last, and with that kind of balance. So those are kind of tip-offs on a good bet there. And of course, I just loved it in the 3rd race. Number 11, the same old number, 6 to 1 morning line, is bet down a little bit, 3.5 to 1. But same old number wins the race. And there we go. and then the key horse got bet a little bit, but we have a few serious bet downs on this card, so always like to point them out. But the big deal of the day belonged to Aqueduct. Decided Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon, to give the sheet out for free and announce that on Facebook. Anybody that wanted it would be able to just send an email to an autoresponder, get a web address where the sheet resides still, and that address is, where the hell is that address? Oh yeah, the address, that email address where the sheet is still at from an autoresponder is right here. And the thing was, there was a big carryover for the Aqueduct Pick 6 on this day, yesterday. And so I did the Rolling Sin contenders for each race of the day, and announced it on Facebook and Twitter, and put the thing out there to see that, I actually believe that the Rolling Sin 5 contenders would take this pick 6, and it certainly did. That pick 6 paid $126,543 apparently to 2 people, and I like to think one of them got this sheet from the internet, from my autoresponder, and from me giving it away on Facebook. And I like to think that at least maybe a couple people picked up this pick 4 at the $2 level, $33,175, and at the 50-cent level, I believe is over 8,000. It would be 1/4, about $8,300, something like that. And the 50-cent pick 4, you could bet all 5 contenders, all 5 of these Rolling Sin contenders in that wager for $312.50, I do believe. So that was an excellent wager there. And then the $2 pick 3. Again, that one pays $2,111, and at the 50-cent level, it would have paid about $500, and it would have been, you would have been able to bet that for $62.50, I believe, and that's getting pretty well in range. So, of the average single bettor, or maybe the single bettor and a couple of friends. So I like to think that someone drilled to those pick bets with Ability X ratings yesterday. We also had 4 key horses. $38.30 is what they returned, and I guess the only race that was missed by the Rolling Sin contenders is the second race. That winner paid $142.50, and the other one that was really quite the accomplishment, I suppose, was the 9th race, also on the grass. It's like I blow one at 1 1/16 on the lawn, and then I get one at 1 1/16 on the lawn. And there were some particular reasons why I put number 2 in here instead of number 10 or number 4. And they are a pair, so very tempting. But and I was tempted to put 10 or 4, but as I continued to think about it, I went with number 2, and sure enough, number 2 comes rolling in. So, but this whole thing demonstrates a few things that I'd like to make mention of. I feel like it's a great demonstration of of course, the power and accuracy of Ability X ratings, and it also demonstrates what I've been saying for quite some time, that you have a much better chance of winning at horse racing if you simply play it according to your knowledge and your knowledge of the percentages. And this is not hard to obtain. And if you just play the horse races, you're much more likely to win, as opposed to trying to figure out which horse is going to win and figure everything out, and only playing those things that do figure according to some kind of figuring. And my thing, I don't like past performance handicapping as it is done with the format of the form, and I'm always saying that the format of the form is what works against you as a bettor with horse racing. And I believe that this pick six and the whole card demonstrate that very well, because you're making your betting decisions from the ability of the horse, and this is all you really need to make good betting decisions. You don't have to stress it too much. You don't have to. Everything doesn't have to figure. You can go by feel. You can go by common sense, and you can make intelligent betting decisions. And you can learn as you do that how to make better betting decisions. Constant thing, always learning, and that's what I say is the great thing about Ability X ratings and being able to bet ability. And I always say that it won't let you down, and it certainly didn't let anybody down yesterday at Aqueduct. So, and a lot of people would suggest that maybe I'd be feeling like I missed something because I didn't bet Aqueduct myself at all, and I'm playing Churchill Downs, and I generally just play one track at a time. And there's plenty of racetracks out there, and I don't feel like I missed a damn thing in betting my betting at Churchill Downs for the day, and I don't feel like I missed a thing with the Rolling Sin contenders winning this pick six and pick four and pick three and everything else pretty much on the card, because I didn't miss anything. There'll be plenty more where that came from later on today and every afternoon from now on, as far as I can see. So that's the other great thing about making good betting decisions based on ability is you just can't miss anything, because there are a lot more good bets coming. So with that, I'll wrap up and thank you for joining me for this recap, and hope that you'll join me again soon for another.